He's a galaxy, he's a planet, he's a solar system. Everything revolves around him, quote unquote. CJ McCollum reflects on the difficulty of guarding Steph Curry. Stephen Curry is one of the most difficult to guard players in the NBA. This difficulty is due to his incredible shooting range and off-ball movement. The New Orleans Pelicans CJ McCollum recently attested to Curry's skill. The shooting guard has had countless encounters with Curry during his time with the Portland Trail Blazers. In an interview, he said, "It's very tough. You have to throw different bodies at him. This isn't a guy you can just guard with one person. He's a galaxy, he's a planet, he's a solar system. Everything revolves around him." McCollum and Damian Lillard have had some of the most devastating losses of their careers against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. They routinely faced off in the Western Conference playoffs. How hard is it to defend Steph Curry? Steph Curry has wreaked havoc since the Warriors drafted him with the 7th overall pick in 2009. His range and quick release have opposing teams struggling to defend him. Warriors president of basketball operations Bob Myers recognized Curry's uniqueness. He assembled a team around him, ultimately creating a dynasty that would go on to win 4 championships in 8 years. His ability to score in multiple ways from multiple positions makes Curry unique. Teams have to guard Curry the second he crosses half court. Curry can create his own shot or score off the catch and shoot, draining buckets with incredible precision. These skills, coupled with his off-the-ball movement, make him an extremely hard man to guard. If Curry attracts double teams, he has the awareness to find the open man. When the Warriors added sharpshooter Klay Thompson to this team, they became even harder to defend. Jason Tatum speaks on Steph Curry's offensive brilliance and why he is so hard to guard. Jason Tatum is no stranger to the Stephen Curry experience, especially after losing to him in the finals last season. The Celtics star described how difficult it is to guard Steph because of his off-ball movement. Quote unquote, "He moves well without the ball, and they know when to find him. So you gotta get up on him," said Tatum on Curry. Steph has made a living from moving off screens and shooting the ball from almost anywhere on the court. He'll get it, look at the rim, and shoot it from the parking lot, said Tatum on how impressive Steph Curry is when it comes to finding his shots. Steph has had multiple 40-point games against Tatum and Boston, including one in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. However, Jason Tatum did drop 34 points in an overtime win against the struggling Warriors this season. The most recent game where Steph Curry showed out against Boston was when he hit a half-court shot to beat the first half buzzer. Curry looked like he was yelling, "This is my town." After hitting that shot, the Celtics did go on to win that game, but Steph did win the finals on that very court. The Celtics are not worried about the Warriors this season though. Curry has been in and out with injuries as the Warriors are hovering around .500 in the play-in spots right now. Meanwhile, the Celtics are going for a championship. The MVP race this year is closer than ever with 7 players averaging over 30 points. Jason Tatum is averaging a career high in points, rebounds, and assists this season. It's quite unfortunate that he has so much competition this year, but with the Celtics winning games, he could actually win it. Tatum is also in the top 10 in offensive win shares and overall win shares. However, the MVP race wouldn't matter much to the Celtics star if they do not make a deep playoff run. Despite making 3 conference finals in the last 5 years, the Celtics have never managed to go all the way. After getting upset by Steph and company last season, they will look to run it back and go all the way this time. The Celtics have the most dynamic scoring duo in the league with Tatum and Brown, so there is no reason why they shouldn't make the finals again. However, the one giant in the East that could stand in their way is the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks have the second best record in the league and are on a 10-game win streak at the moment. The Celtics did beat the Bucks in 7 games last playoffs, but that was without Chris Middleton. With Chris back and Drew Holiday and Giannis both playing at an all-star level, the matchup will be interesting to say the least. One thing is for certain, the Celtics are not going down in the East without a fight. In addition to it, Sacramento Kings knows Curry so well. Quote unquote, he's a guy that, if you show him the same thing over and over again, he can kill you. Kings coach Mike Brown said, even if you change it up, he can kill you. He's a tough cover for anybody. Both Steph Curry and Kevin Huerter are types of players that require being chased around for the entire game. Curry has a level of movement that very few players in NBA history have been able to replicate. Kevin Huerter, who is fantastic in his own right, knows how hard that is to guard. It's super hard to guard him, Kevin Huerter said. The movement he has, what he does for their offense, the attention he garners both with the ball and without the ball is super tough. Obviously, everybody knows that he makes that offense go, so we just gotta be super locked in. A series between the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors are likely going to set record-breaking offense. Both teams are going to be playing more offense than defense, and Kevin Huerter knows that. That's something this series I think everyone's aware of, Huerter said. Both teams play with a super high pace. They're a team that's kinda known to play up and down super fast. They've been doing it for years. They've worn other teams out doing it. I think we're ready for it. We just gotta throw a lot of different bodies at Curry. When asked recently who is the most difficult player in the NBA to defend, Nuggets star Jamal Murray chose Curry. It is not uncommon for Curry to see his name brought up in discussions about the NBA's toughest covers. While he doesn't have the height of somebody like Kevin Durant, who also regularly comes up in these discussions, Curry never stops moving and he can shoot from anywhere. These are two areas of his game that separate him from everybody else and makes him that much more difficult to defend. Curry's on-ball game is also what makes him so difficult to defend because while he moves a lot off the ball, his handle and off-the-dribble game is rivaled by few others in the league. It's really this versatility that makes Curry so special, because he can play several different ways and is elite at all of them. With the Warriors losing to the Lakers in the Western Conference semifinals, fans missed out on a matchup between Curry and Murray. It would have been a lot of fun to see these two point guards face off, but they will certainly have more battles down the line. Steve Kerr talks to reporters on Wednesday after practice. The Lakers took 29 free throws in Game 1 compared to the Warriors' 6 attempts. Defending Steph Curry is one of the most difficult assignments in the NBA, and no one knows that better than his own Warriors teammates. Even with as good of a defender as a guy like Gary Payton II is, he knows the challenge that lies ahead when guarding his superstar teammate in Warriors practice. For the many defenders who have done their best to limit Curry on the floor, Payton II summarized the strenuous task perfectly. It's heartbreaking. Payton II explained on 95.7 The Game's Lillard and Dibs on Wednesday. You think you've done everything, and he gets a little gap and that's all he needs. It's definitely helped my game guarding other players, but he's one of a kind. In Steve Kerr's system, Curry never stops moving without the ball. The non-stop screen setting and cutting would tire any defender out. And as Payton II mentioned, if you fall behind for just a split second, Curry's already halfway down the court, turned around celebrating a made triple.